Hey everybody, this is Ashley with Publish with Ashley, and I promised you all, I know this is a long-awaited keywords. How do you find keywords? How do you find profitable keywords? What are keywords? What do I fill those 7 blocks with for low content books? So stay tuned, and I'm going to give you guys some of my secrets, tips, whatever you want to call them, and just kind of share with you how I go about researching. Get it. What I do, just so you know, when I first start, I always start on Amazon because I don't know, I like the visual approach of it, and I like you're selling on Amazon, right? So you have to kind of be on Amazon. So the first places I do start is Amazon. And so what I did initially, and I started off like, what subject do I want to talk about? And I know coloring books have been really, really big. Everyone is into coloring books. So I want to show what I did. Now, I got to this as a topic that we're going to look into, which is coloring book dream catchers. But I want to show you something, how I actually found this. So here, let me go up to the search. So what I started out with is coloring book, and that's what I typed in. I started out with coloring book. Now you're going to see all these cool words come up. This is two things. This is AMZ Suggestion Expander, which is like this right here. And then this right here is something new from Self-Publishing Titans. It's the KDP Niche Research Extension. You could probably type in the Chrome extension, Self-Publishing Titans. They have a few really cool things. But this was cool because you can download this. So downloaded suggested keywords. But I didn't actually do that because as of yet, I just was trying to find, so here's a ton of coloring books, right? And what you could do, yes, you could go through and click every single one of these and then see, what the results are in that. But I decided, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do what I've heard people call the ABC method, or just typing in ABC. So I started with coloring books, and I was going to start typing in like, A, B, C, and then I thought, well, what's something I have a problem with, or what would, I think of coloring books as stress relievers, right? A lot of people use them. I can't actually color. I'm a terrible, my coloring skills, my kindergartner could beat me at. But the idea, yeah, I do like to color is just something to do, something to get my mind out there. So I was like, well, how do I know when I'm really stressed? And so I first started out with like coloring book for stress relief, right? And that, when I did that, relief. I can't spell relief, but okay, so I clicked that in and it was like a million results. 50,000 results, right? Over 50,000. That was a lot, right? So everyone's trying to use coloring book for stress relief. And I said, okay, so that's not good. So then I kind of went to, all right, when I'm really stressed, I have really weird and kind of crazy dreams. So I just started typing in dream, okay? And I came up with coloring book dream catcher and dream design. I thought, okay, that's different. So what you can do is you can either kind of think around the subject and kind of think of words, like I did, how I ended up with this dream catcher idea, or you could just type in coloring book A and then see what comes up. Coloring book adult spiral, coloring book adult farm, that sort of thing. Or you could type B and see what up. Coloring book, I guess, for boys, that sort of thing. And then C, right? And you could see what comes up. Coloring book cars, trucks, cats, catacorn, cute, right? So those are the kind of things. But I ended up with Dreamcatcher kind of by accident. So here I'm going to click on it, Dreamcatcher. And it looks like it can be spelled Dreamcatcher, one word or two words. Sorry, I guess I didn't type it in. I'm trying to hit go. It's just not going. Okay, it's thinking. Anyway, so Dreamcatcher, it looks like, as far as Amazon's concerned, you can have a space or it can not have a space, and it will find either. All right, so it came up, and you can see that this is one of 48 of 193 results. And I know there was a question about should you do it in all or should you do it in book? Either. Now, I always do mine in all. And honestly, the reason is because how many of you actually go into the book category and when you're looking for something, or a specific category when you're looking for something, to actually find it? No, usually don't. You just type in all, and then Amazon gets there because you wrote coloring book. So it's going to kind of automatically push you towards the book items because that's what people want if they wrote coloring book. And Amazon's smart enough to know that. So you can do either. And I've heard, you know, maybe try both. It gets you a little bit different results. But honestly, I just stick in the all category because I don't make this that hard on myself. Okay, so what I did is you can see that 193 results is pretty low. But yeah, look at these. Okay, so I have the other extension where you can see the numbers, which is this one, DS Amazon Quick View. So you can download that as a Chrome extension. It is invaluable. Sometimes it's not working. It's currently working now, but it works most of the time. If Amazon does updates, sometimes it doesn't. So let's look at these results. This is actually, I kind of, like I said, wandered into this category because I was thinking about it. Dreams and stress and whatnot, and this is how I got to it. This is great. Look, sorry, I'm going to see all my pop-ups from everything, but you've got 273,000, 41,000, 300,000. You got over a million there. You got some 700, a million, 26,000, 409. Like, right? These are some great results, and they're not all really, really low. Now, if this, I was looking at one category and the whole page, everything was super low. We're talking like 50,000 and below or 80,000 below. Basically, 100,000 and below was the whole first page. That is a very competitive market. You should probably stay away from that, even if you can try it. Definitely try it, even if there's only 193 results. It's just, it's going to maybe be hard to knock people off if like the whole first 20 things are under like 80, 90,000. It maybe, you know, it's worth a try. But I thought this was really cool because there's a few great categories in here. So keywords, that's kind of how you start. You kind of start with, okay, I'm going to make a coloring book. What do I want to make coloring books around? And I got to this dream catcher. I got good numbers. I've got good numbers here. Things in the under a million and a few of them, but not everything at the 50,000 or under 100,000. So this is kind of a good idea. What I also liked about this is that here, let me show you this one, and we'll do a little bit more experimenting in this. This, you know, the dream catchers are typically a Native American thing, so you can also play upon Native Americans. So you could have maybe a dream catcher and Native American design within it as well. So you could either mix and match, and then that would give you a leg up in both categories. You know, if you changed from some dream catchers to Native American, and you could try that, or you could try just a Native American one and a dream catcher one, and then maybe a mixed one under the same brand. And then that way, you know, if somebody liked one of yours, they might decide to do one of the others since it is in a similar venue. But you can also use the words from that. So we're talking with keywords. So right, coloring book, dream catcher. The other thing I looked at was coloring book for adults, dream catcher. Dream catcher coloring books for adults, same thing. You could try that too, but Amazon doesn't really care. So this one says 137, 1, 2. So ignore when they have the sponsored, because you can see this one obviously isn't a dream catcher. This just happens to be sponsored, so it gets in there. But yet again, this Native American one pops up, this free spirit, and then I guess we get some dream catchers too. And some other kind of random things pop up here. So that's something you can definitely look at and try and find different ways to see if adding like coloring book for adults, dream catcher adds or changes how that works. So we have that. Now, how do I get results? Let me go back to, not that it matters too much, but let me go back to coloring book for dream catcher, just because I liked how that. All right, so I'm back here. Sorry, I had to cut it because my internet's slow. I didn't want you to watch the twirling circle. Okay, so how do I do keywords, right? Okay, so what I start doing is I literally get a pen and paper out. So you could type this into an Excel file, but I am a huge pen and paper fan, and I start typing things, or I start writing things. Dream catcher coloring book. And then I start looking. Adult coloring book, so keywords, you know, coloring book, adult dream catcher. And you can see that maybe dream catcher with 1 word, 2 words. Beautiful. Stress relieving patterns. And let's see what we got over here. Whimsical, quirky art activities, free spirit, mandalas, right? There's Dreamcatcher mandalas. That's kind of a cool mixture, right? They took mandalas, which is popular, and Dreamcatchers and put that together. So you could do something like that and have some normal Dreamcatchers and then maybe have some with mandalas in there as well. And that way you can put that in the back-end keywords. Let's see, we've got keep your dreams alive. Remember that whole Native American? We'll go over that. But there's other things. And I just literally start writing words. Native American, feather designs. What's another stuff? None of these don't talk about the paper. Well, this is not a KDP, so I could see why they might be talking about that. Manifest, meditate, relief, stress, Zen doodles, tribal patterns. If you're using any of that sort of thing, definitely include those sort of words. These are kind of, this especially is keyword stuffing like crazy. You may not want to put all this in in your subtitle, but you can definitely use these words in your backend keywords. Kids, grown-ups, adults, again, Native American. This one has eagles, so feathers, Indian, inspiring, catch your dream, to color, right? The word color versus coloring. And I just kind of go through and write all the keywords I see that make sense. Anti-stress, stress relief, relaxation, and I just kind of keep writing all the words that I think someone might do. Boho, that's another kind of associated with dream catchers and that sort of thing. Boho, bohemian, gypsy. Let's see, what else kind of strikes my fancy. You know, here's one with wolves. Sassy dreams. That might be interesting. Maybe moons. I know I've seen moons, nighttime. You know, pretty, beautiful, doodle, those sorts of words. I go through and I just find different words that talk about, that make sense. So I'll go through and do that. So I just get kind of a group of words because kind of some of my main long tail keywords in this one is going to be coloring book dreamcatcher, which isn't a huge long tail keyword, but it could be coloring book for adults dreamcatcher or dreamcatcher coloring book for adults, right? It doesn't really matter the order. Amazon doesn't look at keywords in the exactly the order you do it. Order has some weight, but not a lot of weight. It's more about just the algorithm finding the words. And so you can definitely do that. So when you think of your title, you probably want your title to be, you know, Dreamcatcher coloring book for adults, Dreamcatcher mandalas. Here was a good one. Keep Your Dreams Alive, a Dreamcatcher coloring book for adults, right? So something like this. You could have a saying or something that makes it look pretty, and then Dreamcatcher coloring book for adults, or adult coloring book with dream catchers, or something like that, right? And you have something like that. Now, what I also want to do, since I got on this Native American idea, I wanted, because you could combine the two, or maybe it is a Native American type thing. So coloring book, we're going to type Native cap locks, American, right? We've got, you'll see some of the same ones that you saw before. And like I said, ignore the stuff that says sponsored because they're just trying to, they're paying for the space. But you can see that this also has 600 results, or like here. So we get the pop-up that comes out. Coloring book, Native American. I'll just click it again. and you got 600 results. So that's still not a huge amount of results. It's under 1,000, and you've got 200,000, 100,000, 160, 200. I think this one was 200 and something. Anyway, you can see, my computer keeps loading, sorry, but you can see that this has some good results with nothing, a ton of them that are like in the 50,000s, and it's only got 600 results. So those are some good cross categories that people who like dream catchers might be looking for Native American designs, or vice versa. So this is kind of a good category to maybe make a few series of books in, either combinations or separate. Now, so I've kind of gone through, and I'll go through and look the same thing here. I just get my pen out and I start writing things. Like in these, you can see wolves, totem poles. Now, you'd obviously want to include a totem pole if you're going to put that in your keywords. Tribal, there's one, tribal. Owls are very common. You know, birds, feathers, wolves, that's kind of common. And this is a specific one. Look, it's got Pacific Northwestern art. So you could kind of do some look into, okay, could I make some dream catchers or some sort of Native American art coloring books that are specific to a certain tribe or a certain type of area? So that's something to look into and kind of do some research. So that's basically how I start. I start by picking kind of what I might title it. Coloring book. You could do Native American or Dreamcatcher as your research allows. I'd probably start with the Dreamcatcher and then include Native American aspects to it so that I could include those in the keywords and be authentic, right? You want the customer, if you put Native American designs or totem pole or something like that in your words, you know, if you describe it that way, you want to make sure that there's at least something like that within your book so that you're not deceiving the customer and they have a bad customer experience. You want them to have a good customer experience because you want them to give you good stars, right? So you want to do that. Now, one of the other things I like to do is go on to Google. And where did Google go? I will just open Google. It must have dropped. So one of the things I like to do is actually go onto Google, and I have something called Keywords Everywhere downloaded. And so you'll see some extra items come up from that. There is a paid version of Keywords Everywhere. It's pretty cheap. I'm actually not going to use it, and I haven't used it because, I don't know, I haven't found it all that useful, but it's pretty cheap. You get like a ton of credits for a few dollars. But let's just type dream. What I wanted to show you is dream catchers, and I just wanted to type dream catchers into Google. Okay, so this is kind of, actually, I thought this was really fun. I went through, and not only did I look at related words, this is that Keywords Everywhere, dream catchers, hair, cells, spiritual, right? That's another keyword. Let's see, dream catcher, K-pop. Who knew? All right, there's all sorts of fun stuff you can find out. And you just look through to see if there's anything. Dreamcatcher tattoos. Now that might be a fun coloring book. I don't know. You could go back to Amazon and research if there's anything like that. Probably not, but there's got to be something. So I look through these keywords everywhere and see if there's any more I can add to my list of things. And what I do next is, I thought this was really cool. Here is, you look through and you can go through some of these sites. Now, Etsy may not be useful, but some of these, what is a dream culture? And you can start looking at, like, looking into what a dream catcher is. Words that maybe people don't often use for them. So let's go here. Sleep. Oh, see they have dream catcher and sleep study. And I know you think, oh, this is kind of pretty in-depth research to find keywords, but that's how you find the best keywords. You do more research than the average person. Okay, so talismans. Oh, that's a pretty good one, right? Talismans. Who would think of that? But somebody who's really into dream catchers might think of it that way. And that's your audience. You want to capture your audience. So you can kind of look through and see, wooden hoops, beads, right? I don't think I saw beads in the other thing that we were looking for. I saw one in here when I was doing research early. Oh, here it is. There's a certain type of people that use these. This tribe, I guess, this culture uses those. This is a different, culture of people, and these are specific. Now, spiders' webs, like you can use some of this imagery and try and put these in your keywords of people who are really into, maybe you could make a specific one with Lakota legends. Oh, that might be a really fun coloring book, right? Go through and find a little bit of this history and write a little bit of history with your dream catchers, like did you know, and you put it at the beginning or in between pages or something, and give people a little bit more than they knew before. Because if this is for stress relief, it might be really interesting to know that they originally thought that they were spun by spider webs, and that's what caught the good dreams and let the bad dreams go through, or caught the bad dreams and let the good dreams go through, whichever way dream catchers work. I also saw, it wasn't in here, it was like another site on Google when I was doing research. It was like spiritual hoops or something like that, was another word for dream catcher. So I didn't see anyone calling them spiritual hoops, but maybe, or soul hoops or something like that. I can't remember, I was doing research. But if you do a little bit of research, you might actually get more than your average person. Somebody who's really into this, really might be into this. So they might know some of these words. They might be interested in these words. So, definitely do. And like I said, adding a little bit of history and, why you have a dream catcher, as long as you're not copying and pasting from anybody, you don't want to do that. But you can look at this research and then just write, a few sentences all by yourself. And that could really give, something interesting and authentic to your coloring book that nobody else has. All right, so that's kind of, I thought, a fun way to find some extra words that maybe people aren't looking for. Now, I have BookBolt, so I did want to show you what BookBolt can do. And I have a coupon code, Ashley20, if you want 20% off, but it's bookbolt.io. And you can go sign up and try it for free for a few days, I think 7 days. And then if you like it, that's great. If not, but this saves you some time too. I just typed in coloring book dreamcatcher, right? And so what it did is it went through and found, how I got a pen and paper and went through and got all these different words. That's what it did really quick. Okay. In like 20 seconds, it pulled up these same kind of ones we were looking at and then gave me some keywords, and then it gives you some data. All right, so how many searches, dreamcatcher small, and some of these you could see aren't particularly book related, like unicorn dreamcatcher, large dreamcatcher for car. None of that is really book related, though I guess you could try some dreamcatcher unicorns thrown in there for good things. But boho, remember I told you that was a word. You could just see what there is, and you could look through here, and BookBolt will give you kind of what I did manually. It'll just give you in a few seconds, it'll pull up mandalas, patterns, grown-ups. But like I said, I do like to look at Amazon because I like looking at the pictures, but you could definitely do that same thing here on BookBolt and see. It gives you the BSRs, it gives you, and it kind of does a lot of the, instead of manual work I did, it kind of pulls it out for you right away. So that's good. That's definitely good to do. So I wanted to show you what BookBolt can do, and it can do it quicker for you. This is a paid tool, so I wanted to show you how to do it yourself on Amazon. And then, okay, so I wanted to talk about actual what we put in these categories. Let me find it. Okay, so let's go back to here, and I'm going to squish this over a bit so you can kind of see me type as I go along. And so I would start with, okay, so let's say I called it like a few things you need to know. These, you do not have to repeat keywords, okay? So if you put Dreamcatcher, you do not have to put Dreamcatcher on every single line. If the name of your coloring book is, go out and follow your dreams, a Dreamcatcher coloring book for adults, okay? That's your title. You do not have to write in this keyword box right here, Dreamcatcher coloring book for adults, because it's in your title. It's just repeating it. It's not worthwhile. You can try it if you like, but honestly, it's not going to really get you anything extra. So there's no point in repeating words. I don't repeat words. I try and not repeat words at all. Occasionally I will, because I'm trying to do a long tail keyword. In this, like, I might, if I was kind of trying to attract this Native American, I might type Native American coloring book in here. Even though I've already typed coloring book for my title, I still might put Native American. Oh, you don't want to see me type. American coloring book. Okay. See, you don't want to see me type. Now, I try and fill up every single space I can. So this takes up quite a bit of space, but let's try see what else we can fit on here. We kind of found feather, we found beads, and you don't have to put an S, okay? Save space. You'd never need an S. So bead is the same thing as beads as far as Amazon is concerned. You don't have to, in the backend keywords, in the, like, your title, here this one says like Native American designs. Yes, you'd want to include designs because that would be grammatically correct and this is your title. But in the backend keywords, do not worry about being grammatically correct. In fact, let's say you put coloring. I wouldn't do this because I've already wrote coloring book for adults. Nope, I would pull out for. There's no need to waste any of your letters with for, is, of, the. Don't need to do that. And I might probably pull out adults and just put coloring book adult. Because as far as Amazon's concerned, it's the same thing. So I would just pack my keywords until I have no more space. All those keywords I found, what were some of the other ones we were looking at? Well, let me just look here. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Boho. I would just find all the keywords I can. Now, if there was anything that could be strung together, like this one was Native American coloring book, then I would definitely do that. If I had that Pacific Northwest, like a Northwest design, maybe Pacific Northwest Indians, or bad spelling, Indian design, right? So I might include that. If I had that element, we talked about totem. We talked about tailsman. I don't think I can fit that. Tails. No, see. Let's see if I can fit it here. I get to the point where tails. Nope, I'm not going to do it. But I try and fill up every single space with a keyword. Like stress or anti-stress. I bet I might be able to fit that. Anti-stress. Nope, but I could fit anti. But I would try and fill this with a word. Maybe cute. I know cute would fit there. And I just start going through and filling those out. Now, I always save one of these blocks to describe my cover. So if I had like a red, blue, green, multicolored dream catcher, I would use those words to describe my cover. Sometimes I can't come up with too many more words, so I put some more keywords on the end, just like when I did this. I did Native American coloring, and then I had space left, so I added some extra keywords. So that's why I have my keyword list. So this would be, I'm not going to type it out, but description of my cover. Okay, so I would have words that describe my cover because people might be looking for, something specifically, and I try and have those words there. One of the other, and I just fill these blocks, all these blocks with all those words I found and any long tail keywords I found. Maybe, color for, and I actually take out for stress relief. I can't spell. Do not look at my spelling. Color for stress relief. That would be like or anti-stress relief. Any sort of long tail keyword or longer word I would put in there. In this case, I didn't find a huge amount of long tail keywords because the specific thing we're looking for just doesn't, there's just not that many options as of yet. Here's like this Native American designs. That might be a good one. So Native American coloring book, and then designs. So designs might be a good word because people might be looking for Native American designs. And then I would just keep filling in all those words. Okay, and then this last, so I would do that for this block and this block and this block, and you don't have to see me do all of it, but like I said, I just come and do mandalas, tribal, let's see, inspiring maybe, artwork, if I had eagles, or if I had eagles, right, you want to be, if I had wolves, I'd put wolves. So I'd do that. Then the last key one, I always do gift, present, under 10. Okay, so like people look for gifts under $10. I like to have gift present under 10 somewhere. And if your book's going to be under $10, or if it's going to be under 15 or something like that, I always try and put something like that. I include who it's for. So, you know, maybe if your book is, this isn't, but if it was specifically for like a teen, or we already talked about an adult, but maybe you have some female type designs, female, woman. If it's very, you know, flowery, maybe you have some featheries with flowers and things like that. That might be a very feminine design. So female, you could even put teen. Teen's a good one too. Teenager. But I put kind of who it's for. You could put, you know, mom, daughter. It's not going to fit daughter. But you could do that on a different line if you really thought daughter would be a good thing. Maybe daughter's better than female. Actually, probably is. Who searches for female? They probably search for a gift for their mom, their daughter, their mom, a woman, girl. I think maybe I can fit girl. Nope. Anyway, so I just kind of go and do that. That's kind of how I do keywords. I do not leave space blank. I keep trying to, I'll move stuff around and say, oh, okay, I can move this word here. And so that I can get maybe a longer keyword. Some stuff I do keep together, like gift present under 10. I do try and keep that kind of as a phrase together. I usually actually, in all honesty, I usually put, it's not going to let me do it. I usually put present and then I put gift under 10, because gift under 10 is a really common long tail keyword, should you say, you know, coloring book, gift under 10, under $10. They usually type $10, but Amazon's smart enough to know that under 10 means under $10. And this is how I do keywords. I use a combination of going through Amazon, I do go through Bookable, I go through Google, I do a little bit of research, like, didn't I say like soul hoops? So I'd put soul hoops. I don't know how common, honestly, I've never heard that term before, but somebody, it was on Google on one of the sites I researched, so you never know. And then like those tribes, that sort of thing, maybe if it's specific to a certain type of tribe or whatever, I would use those keywords. But you want it to fit what your particular product is. So some of those may be more specific words. You want to do that. But like mandalas, what's other words? Relaxation, Indian, tribal. I think we had Indian in there, right? Unique, detailed, meditate, creativity, inspire, right? Magical. So some of these words can go in there. And what's nice too is like this keyword count with Bookable. It shows you how common these words are. So like down here, I wouldn't, maybe birthday, but I wouldn't put probably pictures, and I don't think magical or wall or sassy is very useful. Every is definitely not useful. Inch, get. Some of those words just obviously wouldn't make sense in here. No one would be searching on the internet for those particular words, but maybe more uncommon words like the soul hoops. like people might actually be searching for that. And you might be the only person who did research to find out that that's the sort of another name for dream catchers. And honestly, I didn't verify this site I was looking on, so don't be like going out there and she called them soul hoops and I can't find that internet site anymore. Well, I did it and found it, so whatever. But do your own research. Don't use my remembered research from earlier today. But that's kind of how I do keywords. And I'm hoping, this is probably long, but I'm hoping that is really helpful. I start on Amazon, I go through the words, I find the categories, I kind of do that ABC method, typing in some stuff to find, you know, oh, this could be a good word or this could be a good category. I look for the numbers, right? We look up here at the numbers, you know, out of 600, that's good. It's under 1,000. And we look for things that are selling, right? If everything's over 1 million, nobody's buying it, so probably don't go for that. But here you can see there's some decent selling stuff, and so this is definitely things people like to get. And oh, I wanted to show you one more thing. Let me click on, I think this one. Oh, that's a sponsored one. Oh, I'm so sorry, whoever I just clicked on their sponsored ad. I owe you 10 cents or something. Sorry. I try not to click on it. Hats. I wanted to show you like customers who also viewed these things too, so you can look through and see what other type things people might be interested in who are interested in that particular item. That's another way to do that and see other things that might, you know, be selling or might be interesting to your particular group of people you're trying to promote this to. All right, so that's what I do research. I try and come up with a longer tail keyword. In this case, it wasn't all that long. It was like coloring book Native American and coloring book dream catcher, and those were like long tail keywords because they really didn't have too many people in that category. But that's kind of what a long tail keyword is. You just keep typing things in until you find one. So let's do this again, right? This is a long tail keyword. These are not books. Oh, here we go. Coloring book for kids 8 to 12. Coloring book for boys ages 8 to 12. Okay, this is what they call a long tail keyword. And is it profitable or not? I don't know. You have to click on it and see. I found one not just looking at this, by kind of doing that ABC method and kind of coming up with, oh, dream. Yeah, okay, dream catchers, great idea. So that's kind of sometimes how I find my best ideas. I just sit on here and do the ABC method until I find something that I'm like, ooh, that works. It does take a little time to do that, but it definitely works. All right, I hope this was helpful to everyone, and let me know if you have questions, comments, or what else you need. I have more videos planned. Thank you so much, and you can check out my website, publishwithashley.podia.com, and I'll see you all later. Okay, bye.